Square Mall, sponsored by Francis Ray Academy.
WSGW News Time 9:08. The weather forecast is coming up. Speed and alcohol could have contributed to a car flipped upside down in a swamp. Allegan County Central Dispatch received a call Saturday night about a crash in Lee Township near 104th Avenue and 50th Street in Grand Junction. The lone driver was trapped upside down and unconscious. Early several trees after leaving the roadway. They were taken to Bronson Hospital. The crash is still under investigation. A new Anti-Defamation League audit reveals an increase in anti-Semitic incidents in Michigan. According to the audit, numbers of anti-Semitic incidents in the state are at historic levels, with 111 incidents in 2022. ADL Michigan Regional Director Carolyn Normandin says Michigan ranks 9th in the U.S. for incidents of anti-Semitism.
There were 34 cities in 15 counties across the state that had incidents. There were 250 to my office. About 60% of the cases were anti-Semitic in nature, and the other 40% was a split between anti-Black, anti-LGBTQ+, anti-Asian.
More than half of the incidents came from Washtenaw County. According to Normandin, there were no incidents reported from the UP. The Sioux Locks are reopening their biggest lock, the Poet Lock, this weekend, officially kicking off the 2023 Great Lakes shipping season. People gather in person at the park next to the locks to see the first freighters of the season. The Sioux Locks has been closed to ships since mid-January, so the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and other work for winter maintenance and other needed projects. The park next to the Sioux Locks is open daily from 9 to 6. Plans are to open the Sioux Locks Visitor Center for the summer season on May 1st. When you see news happening, call the WSGW Newsroom at 752-0790. It's 9:10. I'm Mike Procha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. 1 to 2 inches of snow falls today, high near 40. Tonight, partly cloudy, low around 27. Tuesday, partly sunny, high near 45. Tuesday night, partly cloudy, low around 30. And snow on Wednesday, high near 42. A chance of snow Wednesday night, low around 23. Thursday, mostly sunny, high near 46. Rain overnight Thursday night, low around 39. Rain continues into Friday, high near 59. I'm meteorologist Michael Cotter with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Right now, it's 34 degrees.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 7 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Yes, indeed. Westside Decorating Center sponsors our program. They're located at 5789 State Street with a newly expanded showroom and new product lines. Everything you need to decorate your home you will find at Westside Decorating Center. Good morning to all of you. I'm Art Lewis. Nice to have you with us this morning. Later on, we will have open phones through much of the program this morning, but we're going to start out talking about a serious topic, particularly since COVID-19 and the pandemic and how it upended schools and certainly upended the lives of many, many students. There has been a consequence, and that consequence falls in the area of mental health. We're going to find out about it this morning by talking to one school district superintendent to find out what they're doing about it. From the Bay City schools, we say good morning to Stephen Bigelow. Mr. Superintendent, good morning.
Hi, Art. Good morning. How are you?
We're doing all right. Thanks. So just as an overview, how serious a problem has student mental health become compared to, let's say, pre-pandemic?
I will tell you that pre-pandemic, it was definitely on our radar. We had a lot of conversations within the school district. We've been seeing, this is pre-pandemic, an escalation in some of the severe behaviors with children happening at an early age, for example. And there's a lot of theories about what the reasons for that are. But the reality is it's something that we need to be aware of. So it's not just a pandemic issue. This is something that we've been experiencing pre-pandemic, but I do feel like the pandemic has accelerated that crisis. And, there's so many theories about why that is. And technology often gets brought into it, where if it's not used correctly, we are social learners. And when people are isolated, that leads to more depression. It can lead to an acceleration of mental health issues as well. So that's certainly part of it. And I think with the pandemic placing additional stress on many families, especially those of resources prior, it certainly took its toll.
Are schools equipped to handle this kind of mental health crisis?
We have so many resources that we're using to work with the community. But at the end of the day, we are a school, and we open in the morning and close in the afternoon, sometimes evening, and those students aren't with us the entire time. And so while we can do a great deal to handle issues within the school, there's that really is what happens at home and how can parents support their children's mental health. So that's really the piece that we're working on right now. We provide what I call wraparound services. With that, we have lots of components in place during the day, from counselors, behavioral intervention specialists, providing breakfast and lunch, providing safe spaces for students to go when they need additional support. We have the people and the places and the expertise to work on those areas. But at the end of the day, what happens when those students aren't with us anymore, and how can we play in that? And one of the challenges too is while we do have people, many of these positions are difficult to hire as well. So if we talk about social workers and some of the additional pieces that we could always use more employees in those areas, they're difficult to hire because in many cases the people just aren't out there.
Yeah. How does this manifest itself, the behavioral crisis, with the mental health crisis?
Yeah, with students, and like I said, we see it at a younger and younger age. We see real behaviors from students that can run the gamut. I mean, everything that you can really think of, where many of those were not seen, or at least when they were, even talking about 10 years ago, it wasn't all that common. And so we're seeing some pretty severe behaviors exhibited by students at a younger age. And it's much more prevalent now. So it can be from acting out into a classroom to throwing things to threats. It's all over the news right now, but Bay City Central High School, we had to shut it down today, and it was shut down Friday as well, of somebody writing a threat and placing it on the door, Yeah. And we have to take these things very seriously now, especially with, there's countless cases across the country. But those sorts of things not only raise everybody's anxiety level, but the fact that anybody would go out and do that, that's not something that we saw years ago either. Yeah. So just an escalation of behaviors is what we're experiencing.
So of the students that come through the mental health section, how many of them are brought in because of behavior that the school has seen? And how many walk in the office and say, I'm having negative thoughts, I need to talk to somebody?
Typically, that's a really good question. As far as a breakdown, I don't know that I have an answer to that, but the reality is we see a combination of both. Students are much quicker to self-identify of having extreme feelings of depression, for example, and some of those things. But especially at that younger age, it really does exhibit itself through some pretty extreme behaviors by the student.
So you say you're working, externally from the schools too, because you're trying to help parents deal with this. How are you doing that?
The biggest way is we work on breaking down the stigma surrounding mental health by promoting open dialogue and raising awareness about mental health issues. So being comfortable speaking about it is one thing. It's certainly not something that we want to suppress. There's professional development that goes on with our teachers and staff, and then we provide some different sessions for parents as well, where we talk about the importance of mental health, encourage them to provide support, but successful with the parents to the extent that, you know, they come in and take part in those. I'm talking about like mental health workshops, providing access to counseling services. We actually, right now in one of our elementary schools, we have a health clinic in the school with mental health specialists through the Great Lakes Bay Health Centers, and we're going to be opening one up at Bay City Central next year as well. And making sure that parents are aware of the resources and know where they can go to help. And like I said, we also offer some sessions in doing that, but that's only as good as the people who the people turn up and actually see them. And encouraging open communication is about the best thing we can do, but it even goes beyond the school from the aspect of where does somebody go when they need this additional support that may be more extreme than just talking to a counselor or seeing a therapist. And we do have cases where students do have to go and be hospitalized for it. And that's a system that, in spite of incredible efforts by those who work in it, there's a real lack of resources available. So, you know, in the past where a student may have been sent to a facility and was receiving care over a long period of time, now, you know, I think that they're dealing with the crisis as well. Yeah. Quite often it ends up being a 24-hour turnaround where the person is out very quickly just because there's lack of space available and resources available.
All right, hang on for a minute. I got to take a break. We'll come back and talk a little more about this with Dr. Stephen Bigelow. He is the superintendent of the Bay City Schools, and we will be back with him in just a couple of moments. Let me talk about my Ford dealer, McDonald Ford. I say my dealer because that's where I've been buying cars for years. I've known the McDonald family for since I got here in 1974. One of the first people I met was Tom McDonald Sr. And as the name implies, they're a Ford dealer. They're located right there in Freeland on M47. But Tom Jr. wants you to know they're more than just a Ford dealer. Right now, they have all kinds of vehicles in their pre-owned lot from many manufacturers: Chevy, Cadillac, Jeep, Lincolns. I saw Mercedes-Benz the other day. I've seen Audi. I've seen many foreign marks. You'll find it all at McDonald Ford, where they put all of those vehicles through a 100-point inspection program. So when you buy one, you drive away with confidence. But should you have a problem, remember that McDonald Ford has a fabulous service department that can handle everything from minor to major repairs. In addition, they have the Drive Collision Center for body work. And they have the quick change place, the quick lane place, where you find quick oil changes and other service, basic service for your automobile. It's all right there at 6790 Midland Road in Freeland. McDonald Ford. Stop in, say hi to Tom Jr. and Tom III, the dealers at McDonald Ford. New or pre-owned, staff will treat you like family because they are devoted to helping and serving you.
I thought learning a language would be too much work. Then I discovered Babbel. They make learning fun. J'aime Babbel.
Babbel's lessons only take 10 or 15 minutes. Quick and easy. And soon you... Hey, I'm starting to speak another language. How'd that happen?
My friend from Italy said my accent and pronunciation is perfect. It's because Babbel's lessons are designed by language teachers and voiced by real native speakers. Each lesson is like living in another country for 15 minutes.
I love that there's all kinds of ways to learn. Babbel's podcast or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
You learn words and phrases you actually use in real conversations.
In 3 weeks, I was starting to speak in another language. So easy.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than Babbel.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
I'm Connell McShane. This is the Fox Business Report.
Most of Silicon Valley Bank is being sold to First Citizens of Raleigh, North Carolina. The 7 of SVB will be operating as a unit of First Citizens. The FDIC has been trying to auction off Silicon Valley Bank for about 2 weeks. Its buyer, First Citizens, is one of the biggest U.S. regional banks. Kodiak Biosciences shares are down 50% after the company filed for bankruptcy. The biopharmaceutical company says it wants to sell off assets to maximize its value. Kellogg is celebrating the 60th anniversary of Little Debbie Swiss Rolls by transforming the treat into a cereal. It will be available nationwide starting in April. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosolda, invested in you.
Do bank closures, inflation rate hikes, and the roller coaster of the market frighten you as much as it does me? You need to call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick the precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today and learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan at 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Hi, WSGW listeners. This is Mitch with Paintball on Bay Road in Saginaw. Do you remember in January when Paintball gave you the chance to win a complete detailing package for your vehicle? Well, we're doing it again. Now that spring's here, it's a great time to get rid of all that dirt, grime, and salt that's been building up all winter. We'll steam clean your carpets and seats, clean your wheels and engine bay, dress the tires, plus include a hand wash and wax and a tire shine and more. It's a $238 value. For your chance to win, enter online at WSGW.com. Scroll down and find the paintball box. You can enter once a day and find all the rules and details. Entry deadline is at midnight. A random drawing will determine the winner. Again, I'm Mitch from Paintball, and we're ready to make your vehicle look and feel like new again. Remember, Paintball is your go-to for minor collision repair, along with professional detailing, rust proofing, and much more. Make sure you enter the paintball contest online at WSGW.com.
All right, we're back with you talking to Dr. Stephen Bigelow, Superintendent of the Bay City Schools. We're talking about mental health issues facing students today. So, Steve, let me ask, there's sort of a syndrome in parenthood called, well, not my Johnny or Jane. And I wonder if that becomes prevalent when you start talking to parents about mental health issues.
We experience that a little bit, certainly. I think that's always been. I will say our parents have been very good about attempting to seek out additional help for their students outside of the school when suggested. The issue comes down to finding people actually that are able to do it. Again, there's a lack of resources community-wide as far as when it comes to counselors and social workers and some of those. As I think everybody is experiencing this increase in mental health crisis, I guess you could call it, finding the people that are available to sit down and provide the services, it definitely is lacking right now.
How do the teachers handle it?
The teachers handle it incredibly well, but I will just tell you, more and more gets put on their plate every single year. And people go into teaching because they care about kids, and primarily they want to educate you as a teacher. And increasingly each year, school often is viewed as a place to solve society's ills. And definitely more and more gets placed on it from, I mentioned we're serving breakfast, lunch, providing mental health care, and trying to tackle very difficult behaviors in the classroom. It's a very, very challenging job. And the other thing Arthur talked about is the not my kid syndrome. And I think this is cyclical, but one of the things that we have noticed within education is I think many of us can think back to a time where if we got in trouble in the classroom, for example, and I know if I got in trouble in the classroom, I was scared to go home because I knew my parents would have found out about it. And regardless of how right I may have been, they would support the teacher. And we've actually seen the opposite of that in some cases. And so that makes it just that much
Yeah.
teacher.
Well, let me ask, this is a big effort in terms of dealing with mental health issues with the youngsters. Who's dealing with the mental health issues of the teachers?
Yeah, that's a great question and something that comes up quite a bit. Certainly there are some resources that we provide to our staff, not just teachers, but anybody within the school system if they need additional help, somebody to talk to. Those resources are there. But again, those are only as effective as the people are willing to take that. And just by the nature of our teachers, who tend to be servant leaders, they tend to put themselves in their own care last because they truly are there because they're looking out for the well-being of the students. So it can be a challenge to have a teacher take the opportunity to, seek something about it.
So what's ahead for the program? What do you see as the need, if you will?
Well, schools can't do it alone. And what I think that we're going to see is a continued combining of resources and efforts throughout a community. We've got many affiliations with outside groups, including, I mentioned earlier, the Great Lakes Bay Health Centers. I think you're going to see more cooperative agreements like that, where you're able, as a school district, we rely more on outside resources to provide the additional help. And to the extent since earlier and earlier in a child's life, that should lead to better outcomes as not only as they're going through school, but also as they become adults and are out in the world. So more intense resources from an earlier age. And it can't just be the schools. It has to be a cooperative effort by everybody.
Is there a contact point within the Bay City school system if a youngster is, feeling the need to talk about it? Who do they contact?
Well, typically they contact their often it's through a teacher or sometimes a peer will mention something too. So people have been very good about voicing those concerns to us. So if they talk to anybody who works within the district, we'll get to that person right away. We do have a crisis support team within the district that's comprised of mental health specialists who work in the schools who are able to surround a major issue as it comes up. If you look on the back of any student ID now, and this isn't just with our school district, it's across the state, it's actually part of state law, you'll find mental health information on the back of student IDs, including a suicide help. Then also, we rely heavily, and in fact, I'm part of the 211 network, which provides resources for community members who need help, whether it's there's financial concerns or heat's being turned off to, they need to receive mental health help. By dialing 211, they can be put in contact with somebody immediately.
Yeah, and we're lucky around here anyway that we have the Barb Smith response and resource network and others. It's a growing crisis. There's no doubt about it. And we hear more and more about young people in trouble, suicide, and things of that nature. It's not going to be an easy problem to solve, is it?
No, it's not. There's multiple things happening at once, and we certainly don't have all the answers. Yeah, you're right. It's incredibly complicated.
The other side of this too is, it's almost a catch-22 for school districts because you can't afford not to do it, but can you afford to do it?
Well,
dollar-wise,
you're so right. So I look at even, and this is kind of monopolizing my time. It fits into the mental health aspect too. The fact that I had to close down Bay City Central High School today because of a threatening note that was placed on the door. There's numerous kids, all the students of Bay City Central, who are now affected by that because they're not able to get into school, get their education. For those who need the meals, get fed. And for those who maybe needed somebody to talk to today, we've just taken that away from them. And so, and if you're leaving a note on a door, there may be some help that's needed for you as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So all these things combine and very difficult to manage.
Well, I wish you well with it. And let's touch base again in the future, see how the program's doing. And let's hope we turn some kind of corner here in mental health, because it's become a serious national issue, not just locally, obviously.
Without a doubt. There are lots of caring people out there. That's a good thing. Many ways to get help if you need it. Like I mentioned, 211 works well in our area. I would be remiss if I didn't share that my board president, Matt Flan, says I have to say hello to you from him. So he can send me that text.
Well, you've got a great board president, I'll tell you that. Matt is a very special individual, not only to this region but to me, because he does fill in for me from time to time.
Right.
And he's just a great guy, and I know. You mentioned him, and I know how much he cares about the students and the Bay City schools, which is why he does what he does.
Yeah, correct. That is correct.
All right. Well, Steve, we'll chat again down the road. It's always a pleasure, sir, and good luck.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks. Have a good day. Bye-bye now. Dr. Stephen Bigelow, he is the superintendent of the Bay City schools. From now till about 11:25 thereabouts, we'll have open phones for you at 989-752-6111. Toll free 866-790-WSGW. That is the number to call to join us here on WSGW, and we'll look forward to chatting with you. We're going to take a break, and then we will be back with more.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
We can't see tomorrow, but we can hear it. Tomorrow sounds like hydrogen being added to natural gas to make it more sustainable. It sounds like solar panels generating thousands of megawatts. And it sounds like carbon being captured and stored, keeping it out of our atmosphere. Into a sustainable energy future for more than 20 years. Because what we do today helps ensure tomorrow is on. Enbridge. Life takes energy.
Since the pandemic, I'm so anxious all the time.
I can't sleep.
I need someone to talk to who's not going to judge me.
For emotional support any time of the day or night, talk to a Stay Well counselor. Dial 1-888-535-6136 and press 8. It's free and confidential, and one of the many ways to stay more at michigan.gov/staywell. Sponsored by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and the Michigan Association of Broadcasters.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is from Pizza Dude in Pinconning. You're going to get a $20 gift certificate for only $10. Family owned and located in downtown Pinconning, Pizza Dude's mission is to combine gourmet flavors with the perfect balance of indulgence and nutrition. Make sure to ask about their monster pizzas that are 2 feet wide. Half off? Yeah, it's true. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Do bank closures, inflation rate hikes, and the roller coaster of the market frighten you as much as it does me? You need to call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick the precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today and learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan at 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Finding great people to hire is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's pretty difficult, right? Well, ZipRecruiter has mastered finding a needle in a haystack, so they take it to the next level. They make hiring so simple that it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. And that's why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com. Like to use ZipRecruiter. They have so many qualified candidates that it's easier to find the right ones for your roles. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's a lot of needles. So how do they do it? ZipRecruiter's powerful technology sends you candidates who are a great match for your job, and you can even invite your top choices to apply. So if you want less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.
Has this ever happened to you? Your significant other says, we've got to redo the kitchen, and you break out into a cold sweat?
Well, don't worry. It's a common condition, something we call needless remodeling anxiety, and we've got the cure. Heck, we are the cure. Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler.
And I'm Leslie Segretti. Whether you do it yourself or direct it yourself, we can help you keep your project on track and on budget.
So join us this weekend for the Money Pit Home Improvement Radio Show.
The Money Pit, Saturday mornings at 9 on WSGW.
From the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios, you are listening to 100.5 and 7 EW.
And I'm with you in my Saginaw Spirit home studio, the Art Lewis Show, for this Monday morning. Congratulations to the Saginaw Spirit for concluding their regular season in fourth place. They have home ice advantage in the playoffs coming up this week, and they get to play Flint in the first round, which is an I-75 dream link-up. The stands are going to be packed, folks. If you want tickets, get them now because, you know, people from Flint only have to drive up 30, 40 minutes to get here, and it's vice versa going to Flint, too. So you better get tickets and get them soon. And later on this week, we will be chatting with the president and managing partner of the Spirit, Craig Goslin. This is an exciting week for the Spirit because today the Memorial Cup Site Selection Committee will be voting, and hopefully by midweek we should hear whether Saginaw has been selected to be the home of the 2024 Memorial Cup, bringing teams from all over the Canadian Hockey League, 4 of them. So anyway, we'll keep you up to date on that. The other thing in sports, I just want to get this out of the way now before we get into other things. By the way, the lines are open for whatever you want to chat about, 989-752-6111. I think we've all heard of UConn, University of Connecticut. They are the highest seeded team in the Final Four in the NCAA. They were seeded number 4. No number 1s are left. They're all gone. And 3 first-timers are now in the Final Four. Florida Atlantic, San Diego State, and Miami make their first appearance in basketball's Big Finish. And that is the first time since 1970 that 3 first-timers showed up. I don't know if you play the brackets or not, if you do the brackets when they first come out. But seems to me, and I don't play the brackets. I don't understand basketball well enough to do that. But it seems to me that most brackets were totally destroyed after the first game, and certainly the first week. It's been one upset after another in the NCAA this year. March Madness lives up to its name, Madness. Unbelievable. Do you do the brackets, and how well did you do? How long did it take before your bracket was destroyed? It's amazing. And again, I don't pretend to know anything about it because I just don't follow basketball. At 5'7", I was never a basketball player. I didn't have the coordination to do it. But I understand it. It's a huge, huge sport, and the NCAA tournament brings out a lot of people playing the brackets and hoping they figure it out. A lot of money at stake, too, I guess, today with all of the betting options and everything. Boy, it's a different time, isn't it? It really is. It is a different time for sports, from being totally anti-gambling to, hey, let's get on board with all the gambling sites. It's just a different world we live in now. Different world we live in. And it's, in some ways, I understand it. I mean, you know, being from New York, I can remember when they opened off-track betting, and you could go into Grand Central Station in New York, and there was a betting window where you walked up for off-track betting to bet the horses. Times have changed now. Now you sit with your smartphone and prove how smart you're not by making a lot of bets. Let's go to the phones. Al is in Midland. Al, good morning to you.
Good morning, Arthur. Hey, first of all, my condolences on the WSJW radio family member that
John Casey.
visionary.
Yes.
Yeah,
He was
visionary that picked both you and Dave Maurer to work at the station. Definitely a visionary.
Yeah, he was a neat guy. He really was. He was here for, I want to say 20 years he guided the station. So he was a special person in all of our lives.
Well, he did it from what I listened to the station, and I think he made smart choices in a lot of ways. Hey, this may be a Canadian thing or something the Canadians are familiar with. You might ask Errol. I don't know.
Listen up, Errol. What's the question?
Well, I bought a package of Ruffles potato chips a while back, and it says all dressed. #1 flavor in Canada. What all dressed means? Apparently, it's like potato chips that have everything on them.
Seasoning.
They're flavored with the spices, various salt, and various other things that they add for additives, and they consider it all dressed.
Interesting.
And I guess their logic is that when we put clothes on, we're all dressed. And potato chips don't have all these flavorings on them. They're kind of naked potato chips, I guess. So you might ask Errol about that. He's more into that than I am. I kind of respect the Canadians. You know, that there are neighbors to the north and also to the
Well, here
east.
it is. Are you ready?
Forget the east.
Are you ready? I have the answer.
Yes.
All dressed, in French, it's assaisonné or something like that. It's a potato chip flavor popular in Canada. Ruffles, major producer of all dressed potato chips, describes the flavor as a mix of ketchup, barbecue sauce, sour cream, and onion, and salt and vinegar.
Yeah,
it's all dressed.
That's what I've got. That's what I've got.
Lucky you. I don't want them.
I just happened to stumble across this, and I says, "Wow, that's kind of cool." And
I tell you something.
Great.
I had an occasion many years ago to go into a potato chip factory, and I learned a couple of things. First of all, I learned that when you buy a bag of potato chips, you don't know whose chips you're getting. I mean, if you get Lay's, yes, Lay's potato chips are Lay's potato chips, but you don't know how many other store brands they produce on exactly the same line. They just change the bags. And then
I can believe that.
And then the other thing is I watched them season the chips and told myself I never want to eat another seasoned chip. They spray them with this powder coating and whatever it is, whatever the flavor of the day is. It's not baked into the chip. It's just dumped on it. And it just, for some reason, didn't look appetizing.
That's why I don't want to know how they make hot dogs.
No.
Be able to eat another hot dog ever again.
Oh, no. Good deal. All right.
Anyway,
well,
you have a good morning there, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
You enjoy your all-dressed chips.
Yep. Bye now.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right. Line's open for you here on WSGW. Give us a call.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right. What could be sweeter than that?
With the Wholesale Formula Seminar, discover how to start your own Amazon business.
This is Nick Chouquette. I lost a lot of money on a failed landscaping business and had to move in with my dad. After attending the Wholesale Formula Seminar, I went from having no job to $1 million in revenue on Amazon just 2 years later.
Hi, Ian Bauer. My first year averaged $45,000 a month in sales. Now I'm at $90,000 a month and hardly working.
Whether you have a business and want to sell more on Amazon, retired, or just need extra money, America's Amazon expert Dylan Frost will show you $9.99 guaranteed or your money back. That's right. Frost's seminar attendees generated over 1 billion, or to be clear, over 1,000 millions in sales on Amazon. Attend Dylan Frost's The Wholesale Formula 2-hour seminar Tuesday, March 28th at 2 p.m. For the greater Saginaw area, register at thewholesaleformula.com.
Welcome to retirement. Now, replace your paycheck. To local financial coach Kevin Ray, this is what retirement planning is all about.
Building monthly paychecks. And how you build those monthly paychecks is going to determine how well in retirement you're going to build a good framework, and it starts with income.
So build your framework with Kevin and the team at Insight Folios today by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right, but right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-60.
Closures, inflation rate hikes, and the roller coaster of the market frighten you as much as it does me? You need to call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick the precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today and learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan at 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Insulin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hi, this is Mike Avery. You know you can hear my outdoor magazine show Sunday mornings, 9 till noon on WSGW. But now there's another option. Saturday morning, 6 till 9. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information, hunting and fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on Saturday mornings too, 6 till 9, right here on WSGW 79.5 FM.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, and as I expected, the Canadian himself, Earl, is on the line this morning. Good morning, Earl.
You're going to pick on me, just like they did on the fire department. They used to say, "You're overweight, overbearing, and over here." And I said, "Yeah, but I outrank you, so we'll do what I tell you to do." I haven't heard those chips in a long, long time.
Say what? I'm sorry. What was that?
They were an acquired taste.
Oh, the chips? Yeah.
Yeah, but I like them. What I order from up there all the time because I grew up with is beehive corn syrup. I can't get away from that stuff. I was born with it, and but I've been asked anything about being Canadian for a long, long time. Except my mother's from Hastings, Maine, and my father's family grew up on Cape Breton Island, and I can trace my ancestry back to the 1600s from overseas, and
They are the Scottish side?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, on my father's side, yeah, on the Scottish side. My mother was French. Je parle français. You speak French?
Ah, interesting. No, I don't. But what's
I know
interesting,
enough French to know when they're talking about me. Let's put it that
it's
way.
interesting. Didn't the Scots throw the French off of Nova Scotia?
They drove them to Louisiana.
Louisiana, that's right.
Yeah, I think we got some ancestors too. And, but it's another thing I learned: moose are not friendly pets. Do not try to pet them, and do not honk at them if you're on the highway. They will kill you.
Yeah.
They had an accident here about 3-4 months ago. A moose demolished a car with 4 people in it and didn't stop at the car. So moose are not good-natured. They're worse than a rhino for dispositions.
Yeah,
and if they
I've
show
heard
up in
that.
your backyard, please.
Yeah, go the other way.
What?
If they show up in your backyard, go the other way.
Well, I thought I was going to have one for a pet growing up until my father looked me out there. Here I was trying to pet this baby moose, and the mother's not too far away.
Ooh.
Get the hell away from that thing. It'll kill you. So you live and you learn,
Yeah.
But this is my country, right here. If I could go back in the service, if they needed me, if they need a crippled old, to hit the road tomorrow morning. And,
Yeah, they could sit you in an office and you could govern fire departments for
I don't want to be in a damn office.
I know that. That's why I said it.
Hoffman had trouble, and Chief Hoffman had trouble keeping track of where I was at when I was working on the fire safety house. But I had a couple of other friends on there just covered for me. But sometime I'll tell you a story about how I met my wife.
Yeah.
Because I was in the Air Force, and they were competing in Barrie, Ontario, speed skating meet, and myself and another Air Force guy were harassing the American female speed skaters, and so we just got writing back and forth, and her mother used to say, "Why are you going to marry a Canadian? That's never going to last." Anyway, but I used to, when I called her when she worked at Michigan S, they all wanted to answer the phone because they liked my accent.
Yeah.
I don't know where A came from.
I don't either.
Never grew up with it. That's something that they came accustomed to after I left the place.
Out of curiosity, did you ever have dual citizenship, or do you still have it?
Yes, I did. I'll tell you a little story. I had dual citizenship that I didn't even know I had. I was in the Canadian Air Force, and an agreement between Canada and the U.S. is that all the time I was counted as if I had put it in the U.S. Air Force here, which I didn't even know about till probably about 15 years ago. And the person said, "Why don't you submit and see if you got a pension?" And I'll be darned if I didn't get an answer back that I'm entitled to old age pension. I don't know, it's $50 or $60.
There you go.
Like that. But,
Good deal.
Thank you for letting me
All
do
right.
all right.
I
Talk
got
to
it.
you later.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you later. I'll take care. Bye-bye now. For those of you who don't know, I've known Errol for decades. He was a battalion chief in the Saginaw Fire Department for many, many years. Always treated us journalists at the time with respect and became friends. We'll take our last break this hour. Be back to tell you what's ahead.
Baseball is back. Join the Great Lakes Loons for opening day, April 7th at Dow Diamond. The first 1,000 fans receive our 2023 magnet schedule absolutely free.
It's Feast Friday presented by Isabella Bank. Enjoy $2 hot dogs, dollar chips, sodas, and ice cream sandwiches all night long. The 2023 season is so big, it's like in a 5-pound bag. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now at loons.com. Dive in. It's Loons baseball time.
Saginaw Children's Zoo.
How do you do? The Saginaw Children's Zoo will be opening for the season on Saturday, April 15th. Take a wild adventure to the Saginaw Children's Zoo. Say hello to all your feathered, scaly, and furry animal friends and get some much-needed fresh air. The Saginaw Children's Zoo can't wait to see you. Visit Saginaw Zoo.
Saginaw Children's Zoo. How do you do?
A 401k can be an important asset for many Americans' retirement. You've made contributions to your 401k every single paycheck for years. Tune in Sundays at 8 a.m. on WSGW for your Financial Empower Hour with Jason and Carl Kreiderman from Great Lakes Investment in Midland. They will give you information like how your 401k's tax advantages and portability may enable workers to build sizable and important nest eggs. Also be costly if you aren't aware of potential mistakes. Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a guide that will teach you how to avoid an IRS early distribution penalty and full taxation on rollovers. You can use your most mistake-proof option and more. Request your guide today at 989-835-7203 or visit GreatLakesInvestmentAdvisors.com. This commercial shall in no way be construed as solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan.
Off to the news, which is next here on WSGW, and then we'll be back with more open phones.
From the premier kitchen and bath, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Paul Gauguin Cruises.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Massive protests in Israel over Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's plan to overhaul the country's court system.
It's not a matter of left or right. It's a matter of pure, basic human rights that are being crushed daily.
I'm Stephen Portnoy. For months, the Biden administration has urged Prime Minister Netanyahu to back off his proposal to weaken the independence of Israel's Supreme Court and all its rulings. The White House now urges a compromise as soon as possible, saying democratic values must remain a hallmark of the U.S.-Israel relationship, and that changes to any democratic system should be pursued with the broadest possible base.
Flights at Tel Aviv's Ben Gurion Airport are grounded. Ukraine's president visited the front lines in Zaporizhia before meeting with the head of the UN Atomic Energy Chief today. Correspondent Rainey Inocencio reports from Kharkiv.
As the West deploys more weapons to Ukraine, Russian President Vladimir Putin is raising the stakes himself, saying he will deploy tactical nuclear weapons to Belarus. Fighter jets already retrofitted, and arguing he's doing what the U.S. has been doing for years by stationing its nuclear weapons in Western Europe.
It would put nuclear weapons within reach of targets inside Ukraine. CBS News has learned the Manhattan grand jury investigating former President Trump and an alleged hush money scheme is meeting today. It's not clear if jurors will vote on an indictment soon. There's more dangerous weather in the forecast for parts of the South after at least 26 people were killed by an EF4 tornado in western Mississippi. FEMA Administrator Deanne Creed. Mornings.
We can see from the images that we are going to have a long-term recovery on our hands here. I talked to Governor Reeves extensively about some of the things that he's going to need. Housing is going to be our biggest issue.
Officials in Philadelphia say it's safe to drink the water, at least till tonight, after a non-toxic latex spill in the Delaware River. Callie Caney wasn't taking chances at a restaurant in Rotten Fishtown.
They just brought us this water, but the first thing in my head was just like, oh, it's probably tap water. So I'm just like, I'll steer clear of that for now.
A little blue pill that promises big results debuted 25 years ago today. CBS's Jennifer Brown.
For 25 years now, doctors have been prescribing Viagra.
Bob Dole was one of the first public figures to endorse it.
It's a little embarrassing to talk about ED, but it's so important.
Initially, the drug was being tested to treat high blood pressure and angina, but doctors found a different benefit, and Viagra was born.
This is CBS News.
CBS News is brought to you by Paul Gauguin Cruises. Artfully authentic, all-inclusive year-round cruising to Tahiti and the South Pacific. Visit pgcruises.com today.
You have a family doctor. Do you have a family plumber? When you have a plumbing, heating, or cooling problem happen in your home or business, you need to be able to call a professional that you can rely on. Repair or equipment replacement. Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has been the professional homeowners and businesses trust for 65 years. Whether you're looking for an emergency water heater replacement or planning a new heating system installation, you can trust Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning to provide quality service and installation. Reamer has the equipment to fit every budget, experienced estimators, and state licensed technicians to install. Trust a professional to do the job right. Call Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Visit them on the web at reamerplumbing.com.
Any way you spell it, Reamer means what?
Moments like hearing my cat purr good morning mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom. This is WSGW News.
Mostly 3 degrees at 10:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Perchuk. Bay City Central High School closed again today after another threatening note was found. The school was closed Friday after the discovery of a threatening note posted on the school's door. On Monday morning, Superintendent Dr. Stephen Bigelow announced a similar note had been discovered, and all classes and extracurricular activities were canceled as a precaution. A Buena Vista Township official has been prohibited from setting foot onto municipal properties. Eddie Billing, member of the Township Board of Trustees, was issued a no trespass order by the township after officials found a Facebook video where Billing was allegedly seen and heard in what's described as extremely concerning. It has been issued for Billing's arrest, and he's banned from attending tonight's Township Board meeting. Police say he has not turned himself in. He's accused of violating the no trespass order twice, which is a misdemeanor. The City of Midland has announced this year's dates for household hazardous waste collection. WSGW's Christiana Malakar has more.
Residents of Midland County can drop off hazardous household items to the Midland Sanitary Landfill at no cost on Tuesday, April 18th, Thursday, June 22nd, Wednesday, August 23rd, and Tuesday, October 24th. Items can be dropped off including chemicals, oil-based paints, stains, pesticides, cleaning products, auto products, and mercury. Unused or outdated medications will not be accepted at the landfill, but they can be taken to the Dump Your Drugs drop-off in the lobby of the Law Enforcement Center. More information can be found at cityofmidlandmi.gov/landfill. Christiana Malagata, News Radio 100.5, 790.
WSGW News Time 10:07.
With the Wholesale Formula Seminar, discover how to start your own Amazon business.
My name is Jeremiah Holbrook. I've sold over $10 million on Amazon thanks to what I learned from the Wholesale Formula.
Hey, I'm Rick Manello. 2 years after attending the Wholesale Formula, sell my Amazon business for over $400,000.
Hi, I'm Amy Sherlock. I attended the Wholesale Formula Seminar to learn how to work from home while raising my son. Today, I do $175,000 in sales per month.
Hi, I'm Hillary. Before attending the Wholesale Formula seminar, I was a school teacher. Today, I work from home selling products on Amazon.
Whether you have a business and want to support on Amazon, retired, or just need extra money, America's Amazon expert Dylan Frost will show you how for only $49.99 guaranteed or your money back. That's right. Discover the easy way to make money on Amazon with Dylan Frost's The Wholesale Formula 2-hour seminar Tuesday, March 28th at 2 p.m. area. Register at thewholesaleformula.com.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. High winds knocking out power to thousands of homes and businesses across southeast Michigan, some of them in the same neighborhoods that lost service earlier this month. The latest round of outages in southeast Michigan comes after wind gusts reached as high as 50 to 60 miles an hour on Saturday. DTE Energy reported close to 40,000 outages at its peak. More than 200 crews were in the field working on restoration. Consumers Energy reported closer to 15,000 without power at its peak. Primary will be one of the earliest in the U.S. in 2024 in late February, and one Eastern Michigan University student wants to make sure students vote. Junior political science major Naomi Barber is giving presentations on voting to some classes and in residence halls.
If we want to be involved in these policies that create life, they create lifelong change, especially in 50-year, 60-year bills that get passed previously. It's like this is really something we want to focus on, and really something that we need to be involved in, especially if we want, our input involved in it. We can't complain. We're not advocating for it.
Barber says her efforts are nonpartisan. The challenger in the race for the United Auto Workers top leadership post claimed victory Saturday in a close election likely to give his slate of candidates control of the huge union. In a statement, challenger Sean Fain's slate said a federal court-appointed monitor has declared Fain the winner over incumbent Ray Curry. Fain was officially sworn in on over $1 million in federal money is going to help the flow of goods across Port Huron's Blue Water Bridge. The bridge is receiving $1.8 million federal grant for the Smart Corridor project, which will make it more efficient for trucks to get their goods across the bridge. The project will speed up the flow of data between shipping companies, trucks, and border agencies to provide more accurate arrival and processing time for trucks moving across the Port Huron Bridge. WSGW News Time 1010. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Skies become mostly sunny here for today with a high into the mid-40s. Winds out of the northeast around 5 to 15 miles per hour, gusting as high as 20. And then for tonight, mostly clear skies with a low around 28. Tuesday, sunshine, high of 47 degrees. Then by Wednesday, a chance for rain and snow mixing at times, becoming rain lake, cloudy skies, a high around 40. Thursday, 47 degrees. Then by Friday, we'll have a chance for some rain showers, cloudy and breezy, and a high of 59. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 34.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is 5 and 790 WSGW and online WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Yes, indeed. Visit our friends at Westside Decorating Center, 5789 State Street in Saginaw. Newly expanded showroom, doubled in size, and they added a lot of product line, including countertops, quartz, granite, things of that nature. You'll find anything you need for home decorating at Westside Decorating Center. We will have open phones from now till about 11:25, right through Focus, actually, this morning. So whatever is on your mind, we'd love to chat about it. 989-752-6111 is the number to call, and we would be happy to talk to you. There is a headline, has to do with a Wall Street Journal poll and also a poll done with NORC at the University of Chicago, which is a nonpartisan research organization. And this is a scary poll to me. The headline is, and this is a Wall Street Journal headline, Americans pull back from values that once defined U.S. And what are those values that Americans are pulling back from? Patriotism, religious faith, having children, and other priorities that help define the national character are receding, according to this poll. And it finds the country sharply divided by political party over social trends, such as the push for racial diversity in businesses and the use of gender-neutral pronouns. So here are some numbers. 38% of respondents say patriotism is very important to them. 39% said religion is very important. Well, that's very good for the 38 and 39%. Those aren't great numbers, though. Not even the majority. It's down sharply from when the Journal first asked the question in 1998. Now, think of this. In 1998, 70% deemed patriotism very important. That's down to 38%. 62% said religion was very important, and now that's down to 39%. Having children, involvement in communities, hard work have also fallen. Tolerance for others, deemed by 80% of Americans as recently as 4 years ago, is now at 58%. We don't have tolerance. These are scary, scary numbers. And excuse me, and I blame it, and probably a lot of blame to go around. I blame it on the political climate. I blame it on social media. And I have said for a long time, and I think these numbers are bearing it out. And while this is a big paintbrush I'm going to express here, it doesn't cover everyone, because there are a lot of great parents out there who know how to bring up their children and do so properly. But I think since the 60s, we have seen a decline in teaching what it is to be a parent. Because generationally, as we moved from the 60s forward, we had a group of parents who hadn't taught how to be parents. And consequently, the teaching of how to be a parent, which was handed down generation to generation, was beginning to wane until we're here today. Now, again, that's a big brush. Not all parents are bad parents. Most parents are pretty good parents. But we have seen, and it's evident in how the young people today react, we've seen a lessening of respect for authority. In many cases, there's not even a respect for their own parents. It's a Me Too society. What's good for me and me alone? The heck with anybody else. I'll do what I want. And that kind of attitude has led to this decline in American values. That is worrisome. You know, some people worry about the political climate and this party or that party's doing this to us or not doing that for us. I'm more worried about what's happening at the street level, in the homes, and in the minds of these young people. Because you can bet that if this poll were broken down by age groups, and maybe it was, I didn't go deep enough to find out, yeah, I would bet that you would find, excuse me, I have this urge to cough all of a sudden. You would find that, let's say, the 50-55 plus population, if you just took that poll for that group, would be higher numbers. And if you just took the poll for lower numbered age groups, under 50, the numbers would probably be worse. That's worrisome. That's worrisome about the future of the country, because it was built on these things, built on these principles. Sad to see us moving away from it. Let's see what Cynthia has to say in Midland. Cynthia, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art. Interesting topic this morning. I had to give you a quick call.
Yeah.
So I'm second generation American on my mother's side.
Okay.
And I wonder if people came into America, right, starting in the 1880s. And when I think about those of us that came from immigrant families, I think the values of hard work and trying to succeed. I know my grandmother, talked about fear of deportation, and they came legally to this country. And that combined with the Depression, World War II, they survived all of that. I ran into a crazy story of someone who told me that they invited some kids over to celebrate their child's birthday, and they had 1% milk. That's what they serve in their household. And the kids said, "Oh no, we don't homogenized milk." Okay. And so the parent went out and bought a gallon of homogenized milk for these kids for the party. When my mother and I heard that, we were just shocked, because we were raised to have manners, to say no thank you, or, eat what you're served, that whole thing. And so I find the topic very fascinating. I don't have answers, but I just wonder, if some of that is that when people came to this country, they were just doing their best to survive and not be deported. And,
and you mentioned something important. You're second generation, but, a lot of the young people today are third, fourth, fifth, sixth generation removed from those that have come here, and they don't understand what the sacrifices were. I had mentioned if you could break down by age groups, and I did find it, and I was right. This is scary.
It is. And I'm over 55. So I get the breakdown.
we have more of the values than the 18 to 29 group, because, for example, patriotism, the 65 plus group was at the 60 plus level in terms of patriotism, 60%, while the 18 to 29 group was only in the 23% range that think patriotism is important. And having children, religion, there's a 24-point difference between the older generation and the younger generation. And that is scary.
Significant.
They're big numbers. They are big numbers. And I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. I really don't. And also by party. This was broken down by Democrats and Independents and Republicans. And this is scary. Patriotism. Only 23% of Democrats found that important. 29% of Independents, 59% of Republicans said patriotism is important. On religion, 27% of Democrats, 38% of Independents, 53% of Republicans said religion is important. Having children, the numbers are a lot closer, but still below. Democrats, 26%, it was important, 20% for Independents, 38% for Republicans. So, these numbers are scary. I read this and I said, nah, come on, can't be that bad. But everywhere I look in this survey, it's bad. So, I don't know.
I do agree with your assessment of the 1960s, that's perhaps when it started changing. I have a friend that's turning 75 this year and talks about growing up in the 50s out in Lebanon, Pennsylvania, and what a wonderful childhood she had, and she contrasts, to today.
Well, I grew up in New York
and
City in the
challenges.
50s. I mean,
I know.
And it's a different world. It is a different world we live in today. Now, I know evolution always takes place and things change. Everything changes over time. But this, I don't see as change for the better. So,
And by the way, I am a longtime listener, but I just wanted to say I appreciate when you hearken back to your days in New York. I really enjoy those stories. You paint a picture in my head when you talk about it. So keep that up. It's really enjoyable.
I'll try and be careful what paint I use and what those pictures are. Not all New York stories are great, you know.
But I know, but when you describe, your block there. And
yeah.
how
Oh,
everything
absolutely.
Was, you could go to the restaurant and
Yeah.
everything was self-contained. I can just see it.
Well, it was.
I see it in my head. So.
New York, people don't understand it. It's a very interesting comment, Cynthia, because New York is nothing other than Manhattan. We take Manhattan out of it for a minute. New York is nothing but a collection of neighborhoods. And each neighborhood in many ways is self-sufficient. There are people who live in some areas of the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, who have never been out of their neighborhood. Don't care to go. They got everything they need. I find that scary. I couldn't live that way, but they do. They do. It's just the way it is. All right. Listen, Cynthia.
Well, like I said, you educate us all with your comments on that.
Well, I
It's just
appreciate
a
it.
nice memory. So thank you so much.
All right, Cynthia.
Have a good day, Art.
You too. Bye-bye
Take
now.
care.
Cynthia
Bye-bye.
in Midland, we thank her for her call. And lines are open for you. Yeah, we all have memories, and we all remember what it was like, the good old days, It's a catch-22. Let me explain this maybe the best I can. On the one hand, we like to relive our memories and we think our days were better and all of that, and we had more respect for the various tenets of the country in terms of religion and patriotism and all of those things. On the other hand, there are those of us who don't like to hear the term, well, that's the way we've always done it. Well, guess what? Things change. We move on. Sometimes for the better, sometimes not. When you move on not for the better, then you have to figure out how to change it. I go back to what I've said many, many times. I think the United States is one of the most resilient countries in the world. And every time push comes to shove and people get disgusted with the way things are, they make a change. We'll see what happens. Who knows? We're going to take a break, and the lines are open for you. Give us a call. We'll be back.
What's the most important part of a retirement plan?
Income is king because we all need income. And if you don't have an income plan, you don't have a retirement plan.
That's Kevin Ray, financial coach at Insight Folios. Kevin tells his listeners every week about the importance of income planning, minimizing taxes, and strategies to lead a worry-free retirement. Learn all about that and get your own complimentary financial review by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
Mark your calendars for Our Kids World, Saturday, April 8th at the Fashion Square Mall from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. Sponsored by Francis Ray Academy and powered by Sarah Automotive. Free admission, Easter egg hunt, pictures with the Exchange Clubs of Saginaw, and so much more. Plus, bounce out that energy in the kids zone with bounce houses provided by Bouncing Bellas. If your business would like to be involved, call 989-752-3456. Our Kids World, Saturday, April 8th, 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. at Fashion Square Mall. Sponsored by Francis Ray Academy.
Natalia, solid dismount, but that little pause is a deduction.
Top tumblers hope to stick the landing with Coach Jasmine.
That aerial sequence still needs work.
She needs more certified athletic trainers to find your balance.
Focus. I'm going to need you for the all-around. Wait, who's spotting the vaults?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Why would you pay? Know that you can save money at RocketGrabPlus.com. Check out all of our deals going on right now, from Bell's Barkery and Boutique, Mid-Michigan Garage Door, Super Cute, Applied Training Solutions, Bubble Tea Brew House, and Style Encore. You can also enjoy a trip to the Turtle Creek Casino in a Mid-Michigan limo bus. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened higher with banks recovering ground. Investors appear more optimistic about the regional banking situation after First Citizens of Raleigh, North Carolina, of Silicon Valley Bank. SVB is operating today under the new ownership. Caterpillar shares are losing ground. The regional banking situation is expected to lead to tighter credit, which is predicted to impact Caterpillar's business. Cruise giant Carnival is still losing money, but its losses are far less than a year ago, and its business is stronger than expected. Carnival says its bookings are breaking records in North America and Europe, and the trend extended into this month. Carnival shares opened up 1.5%. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Do bank closures, inflation rate hikes, and the roller coaster of the market frighten you as much as it does me? You need to call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401 Silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick the precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today and learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan at 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
I want to tell Mr. Putin.
News coverage.
Stop this behavior.
They shot down a United States warplane.
The Black Sea doesn't belong to Russia.
News coverage. Around the clock.
Silicon Valley Bank.
Call it a bailout. The banking system is safe.
It is a serious problem.
Does DHS have operational control of our entire border?
No, sir. Close the border.
News coverage on WSGW.
Fair ball into the corner. Baez will score. Haas around second. He's going to round second and head for third. It's a triple for Eric Haas.
The countdown is on. 3 days until opening day. Your home for the Tigers is WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, and let's get back to our phones. Russ is in Bay City. Russ, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art.
Morning.
Well, the things you're talking about, your fear happening and whatnot, and I don't see it so hard to see what's going on. It's just a shit. What you're talking about is morals, values, and principles. Well, these are cultural items. America is shifting from the old conservative patriarchy, which has been demonized and vilified for 30 years or better, and it's being replaced with a progressive matriarchy. And what you're seeing is a shift between principles, between the two different cultures.
Yeah, I see that. I mean, I understand that. I just think that this kind of a poll points us out, and even though some people see it, not everybody sees it. Let's understand that, Russ. We see it from you.
Well, a lot of people don't want to.
But a lot of people don't want you. But this kind of a poll puts it front and center.
Oh, it does.
And,
it says exactly what I just said.
And it needs to be taken seriously, I think.
And I think that, it is what it is. And in a world, it's amazing what people are able to be willfully blind of. And you look through history, shows over and over and over. We don't learn from other states.
No, but we do get fed up.
Over and over.
History also shows us that we as Americans, we get fed up. And then we make a change. We make a change. When we get fed up, we make a change.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. I'm not as optimistic as you are. I used to be up until maybe a year. I'd say maybe when I really fell was when the Patriot Act got signed. I was like, well, this is now the government of the government, by the government, for the government.
Yeah, well, I think 9/11 changed a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
But we are here. We are here, and we have to live with it, and we have to figure out what to do about it. And
I thank God every day that I am 61 and not 21. I would not trade spots.
Well, how about 80?
Under any circumstances, no.
I understand. I hear what you're saying.
I think you might. It's, oh my God, no way would I want to be a young person today.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Sad. It's sad.
I hope the at some point in time, the young generation catches on. I fear that social media has been a destructive force in some ways, in many ways.
You blame it for everything, and I get that.
Well, it deserves it. It deserves it.
Anything else, there's good and bad aspects of it.
Well, there are. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there are good aspects of social media, but unfortunately, the bad aspects are the ones that are being dominating, and that's too bad.
It's where you focus your attention on.
Yeah.
It's like when you teach a 15-year-old how to drive a car. Where you look is where you'll go.
Yeah.
If you're looking in that direction, well, that's the direction you'll go in, and that's what you'll see.
All right.
Fair enough. Have a great day.
Happy you too. Thanks. Take care, Russ. Bye-bye. Gene, hang on. We'll get to you right after the break here on the Art Lewis Show.
This just in, a change is coming to herbicide. Raptor herbicide from BASF is now called Beyond Extra herbicide from BASF. Cool, right? That's why I'm talking fast and excited, because frankly, a name change isn't that exciting. You're asking yourself, will I still have clean alfalfa and dry bean fields and broad spectrum weed control? Yes, sir and ma'am, but we added extra clear field production system crops under the name and called it Beyond Extra. Find Beyond Extra herbicide exactly where you found Raptor herbicide. Always read and follow label directions.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is from Pizza Dude in Pinconning. You're going to get a $20 gift certificate for only $10. Family owned and located in downtown Pinconning, Pizza Dude's mission is to combine gourmet flavors with the perfect balance of indulgence and nutrition. Make sure to ask about their monster pizzas that are 2 feet wide. Half off? Yeah, it's true. Head to Rocket Grab Plus. Your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Finding great people to hire is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's pretty difficult, right? Well, ZipRecruiter has mastered finding a needle in a haystack, so they take it to the next level. They make hiring so simple that it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. And that's why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Here's what it's like to use ZipRecruiter. They have so many qualified candidates that it's easier to find the right ones for your roles. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's a lot of needles. So how do they do it? ZipRecruiter's powerful technology sends you candidates and you can even invite your top choices to apply. So if you want less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right, but right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online. Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at ReputationDefender.com. or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Springtime arrives even before the sun in New England, and that has always meant that my allergies awaken alongside my daffodils. But not this season. I have discovered the best-selling Eden Pure Thunderstorm Air Purifier that uses proven Oxy technology to defend me. I only need to plug the compact unit into the wall of my studio, and in short order, the air is clear of the pollen that follows the time of year. There are over 300,000 units already sold. Right now, you can save $200 on an Eden Pure Thunderstorm 3-pack for whole home protection. You get 3 units for under $200. For the place, anywhere you need clean smelling air. Go to EdenPureDeals.com and put in discount code JOHN, John, to save $200. That's EdenPureDeals.com, discount code JOHN. Shipping is free.
The WSGW Broadcasting Studios are sponsored by the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center in Midland.
And I'm broadcasting
everyone,
today.
Cranes
Whoops.
with Cranes L&M Appliance Center. I understand how important it is to make sure you get the best bang for your buck. Well, now is the best time with our B4 tax refund sale. Take advantage of special on GE, LG, and Frigidaire products. Tax refunds go further here at Cranes as we offer new, rebuilt, and scratch and dent appliances. Cranes L&M Appliance Center, 3260 Bay Road in Saginaw and 1556 West Carroll Road in Carroll, where we want to earn your business.
Those are my fat fingers at work. Anyway, welcome back. The Art Lewis Show for this Monday morning, and Gene is in Bay City. Gene, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm in my 80s, so I went to school a long time ago.
Me too.
Now, I went to public school in Bay City, and when we got the first thing in the morning, there was like a big open assembly room.
Yep.
And all the kids all together from all the different grades, we would say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yep.
To the flag of America. And in that, it was one nation under God. And now, somewhere along the line, they eliminated that. Now, all different people from all different countries, and even the American Indian, everybody at that time believed in God. They might, like the Indians might have called them the Great Spirit, or
yeah, they had their own version.
Yeah, different people from different places.
Mm-hmm.
They might have called him by another name, and this is so sad that we've let the minority take over and make the rules, like eliminating that. You know, that was, to me, that was so wonderful, and it's probably been gone for a long, long time.
Well, the Pledge of Allegiance is still one nation under God. It still says it.
But it's not said in public schools anymore,
Yeah.
as far as I know.
I tell you, not only that, and when I went to school in New York City schools, obviously, and we had a big auditorium because we had my high school had almost 6,000 kids in it. But when I went to school, we would go to an assembly like you're talking about. And yes, it would start with the Pledge of Allegiance. And you know what else they did, which they cannot do anymore? They said the Lord's Prayer, believe it or not. In my high school, public high school in New York City, and other public schools, they would start out with the Pledge of Allegiance and the Lord's Prayer.
That is so wonderful. And like I said, we've let the minority of people change everything and run things too much.
Well, I would say it differently. I would say that a lot of people have swung over to the minority, and now it's not the minority. And that's a bad thing.
But I mean, every children's whole attitudes, are developed at a young age. And when you eliminate, make it wrong to believe in God, pretty much.
But that's the
I mean,
parents.
you're teaching children the exact opposite of what you should be teaching them.
That's the parents, because we haven't taught parents how to be parents generationally. We've lost that. And that's a big brush. Not everybody falls under it, but it's true.
Here in Bay City, a new doctor moved here, and he asked a lot of people the best school to send his kids to, right? And he was Baptist, they were Baptist, but everybody told them the Zion Lutheran Church here that their school was turning out, the best educated children at that time. And so even though they were Baptist, they went to the Lutheran school. And the thing of it is, when parents believe in God and the teachers believe in God and they follow the 10 Commandments and bring up their children that way, in the public, any discipline because the parents don't back up the teachers.
Yeah, it's changed, no doubt.
And to me, it's very, very sad and very, very scary.
Yeah.
That saying about if God is with you, who can win against you?
Yeah.
And we're eliminating God things all the time, more and more, and that's getting sadder and scarier to me.
All right, Gene. Well, listen, I appreciate the call. I got to take a break, but I hear you loud and clear. All right. Have a good day. Bye-bye now. Gene in Bay City. And Matthew, hang on. You're going to be next here on the Art Lewis Show.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
if these seemingly unrelated symptoms, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Attorney Joe Cordell. Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500 for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-330-1991. That's 1-800-330-1991. SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-330-1991. SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90%. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing and me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new plan. Nothing is every day.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine. With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clear about the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Hi, WSGW listeners. This is Mitch with Paintball on Bay Road in Saginaw. Do you remember in January when Paintball gave you the chance to win a complete detailing package for your vehicle? Well, we're doing it again. Now that spring's here, it's a great time to get rid of all that dirt, grime, and salt that's been building up all winter. We'll steam clean your carpets and seats, clean your wheels and engine bay, dress the tires, plus include a hand wash and wax and a tire shine and more. It's a $238 value. For your chance to win, enter online at WSGW.com. Bull box. You can enter once a day and find all the rules and details. Entry deadline is Thursday, March 30th at midnight. A random drawing will determine the winner. Again, I'm Mitch from Paintball, and we're ready to make your vehicle look and feel like new again. Remember, Paintball is your go-to for minor collision repair, along with professional detailing, rust proofing, and much more. Make sure you enter the Paintball contest online at WSGW.com.
All right, we're back with you here at WSGW. We'll get back to our phones. Matthew is in Bay City. Matthew, good morning. Matthew, are you there? Up there you are. Good morning, Matthew. Yeah, good morning.
Maybe I should say good morning, Mr. Lewis, because I was brought up that adults were by their title, Mr. and Mrs.
Well, I was too, to tell you the truth, but we seem to be getting farther and farther away from that. So
that is unfortunate,
but I tell most people, call me Art. So
there you go, Art. I would like to present a different side. You're all right, and I see it every day. We have definitely gone down the wrong road as a people and as a culture. However, there's still hope.
Absolutely.
I am in the minority. I am 28 years old, and yet I still agree with everything. I was brought up in an evangelical Christian home. Patriotism was and is a part of our family. I mean, every time we went on a road trip, every historical marker we saw, unless we had a deadline to beat, we pulled over and read it.
Ah, interesting.
If there was some museum, we pulled in. That's another thing. We haven't, like you said, we have not taught the successive generation. Have to keep passing on whatever version of faith you belong to, whatever it is. That's why we have the freedom to believe what we wish. But if you believe something, you need to pass it on. And if we don't teach our history, our young people aren't going to understand what's the point.
Yeah, and we if you fail to learn from history, you're prone to make the same mistakes in history.
Exactly.
And that's not a good thing.
No, and we even see the signs of that beginning in certain places. And yet, we can't just lay down and say, oh, they took it away from us. No, it's a choice. We can choose to be a good influence in our communities and to have a hand in what's going on.
Yep.
And in my neighborhood, the children didn't know me, and one day somebody broke a window. It's like, what do? It's like, well, first of all, you're not going to lie about it. You can't fix it. I can't fix it. Admit what you did and don't do it again.
Yep.
So to me, that's the answer, is we return to what we should be doing. And from your background in the Jewish Psalms, that all throughout the Psalms, it talked about passing on to the next generation what the Most High had done. And that's what we need to do, is we need to reach out to our young people, teach them why these things matter, and hope that they'll follow suit.
Yeah, it's interesting though, Matthew, because you go back to the Bible for those references. That's the very book they seem to be moving away from in this country. And sadly, you're right, sadly, because it's where our morality comes from. It's this country was formed on Judeo-Christian principles, and somehow we seem to be losing those, and that's a shame. That's a shame. All right. Appreciate the call, Matthew. Thanks for the comments.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good day. Bye-bye now. Matthew in Bay City, we thank you much. It is, this country has been through a lot in its relatively short history compared to the world. And we have always managed to rebound. But, and here's the but, I almost hate to say this, I don't think this country has lived through a moral crisis like it is today. Yes, we've lived through a civil war. Well, we started with a revolution. We've lived through wars, world wars, major conflicts. We've lived through depressions, financial hardship. We've lived through it all and rebounded every time. But we have not lived through a moral crisis of the kind we see today. I really do worry about the future of the country. As I've said many times, I'm an optimist. The country's resilient. It has bounced back many times. And I'm hopeful that it will again. And by the way, this is not a political issue. There are good people on both sides of the aisle. You may differ politically. You may not like the way they run things, and they may not like the way your party runs things. But historically, they have been good people. Now, this poll shows quite a difference between Democrats and Republicans in terms of how they view things like patriotism and religion. But maybe I'm a little more optimistic because I believe in people, good people. Now, you can't be optimistic with a blind eye, and I do not have a blind eye. I understand what's happening in the country today, and I worry about what's happening and don't know what the resolution is going to be. So I don't have a blind eye to it. But at the same time, I have an optimism, an internal optimism. I've always been an optimist, never a pessimist. I like to look at the brighter side of things. The old, silver lining in every cloud kind of thing. But I must admit, at this point in our history, I don't see the resolve to change it. And if anything, it's getting worse day by day. It's a shame. But we move on as a country and maybe we'll find an answer. Maybe this is cyclical and maybe at some point in time when people get fed up, they'll return to the basics. I don't know. I do not know. Anyhow, we'll take a break, come back and close out. We're going to continue the open phones through Focus right through 11:25 this morning.
Your day starts before the sun rises. Once your boots hit the ground, you head out to a field, a barn, or a tractor. As stewards of the land, you know anything worth doing is worth doing right. Farm Bureau Insurance, we've always believed in and practiced this same philosophy. From heaving bales and weaning calves to spring seeding and fall harvests, it's all about an honest day's work. Knowing your insurance provider is rooted in Michigan offers comfort. At Farm Bureau Insurance, the experience you get with our local trusted advisors is different. From financial security to a helping hand, Farm Bureau understands the experience matters. Find an agent who can protect what matters to you.
Find your coverage in Vassar, Millington, and Mayville. Call Denny Miller. 823-8493.
Save big with 11% off everything. Beautiful view with new windows from Jeld-Wen. We have over 100 sizes and styles in stock. Or customize your dream window, any size, any shape, made just for you with our Design and Buy program. Get a 24 by 24 inch sliding window for $79.99 after 11% rebate. Good through April 2nd. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Poor Sam was a mess. Always itching, licking. His paws were soaking wet. He had DINOVITE.com. 2 weeks after he started Dynamite, I started seeing great improvements, and today 99% of his issues are non-existent. Dynamite is nutrition. Dynamite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynamite from DINOVITE.com.
Hello, Michigan. I'm John Gonzalez.
And I'm Amy Sherman. We've got big news.
We're back! And you can join us Sundays at 1 p.m. as we once again go behind the mitten.
We'll take you to every corner of the state, sharing the stories that make Michigan great.
Find a favorite spot that might be located right in your hometown.
We'll go above the bridge and taste our way across the state.
Join us Sundays at 1 p.m. right here on 100.5 and 790 News Radio.
Hi, this is Mike Avery. You know you can hear my outdoor magazine show Sunday mornings, 9 till noon on WSGW. But now there's another option. Saturday morning, 6 till 9. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information, hunting and fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on Saturday mornings too, 6 till 9, right here on WSGW 798.5 FM.
All right, we are back, and only for a few seconds because we have news coming up at the top of the hour from CBS and the local report. And then we will be back. No guest on Focus today, so we'll just continue with open phones right through about 11:25, 11:26 this morning. So join us. If you have something on your mind, we'd love to chat with you.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Steel.
I'm Steve Kathan. Officials say it's going to take years to rebuild in western Mississippi after the savage destruction from deadly tornadoes. FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell on CBS Morning says there's to start over.
We are going to have to rebuild this community, right? We're going to have to rebuild the homes. We're going to want to make sure that people stay in this community. Everybody that I talked to said they want to live here.
Overseas, there's turmoil in Israel over the prime minister's plan for judicial reform. CBS's Charlie D'Agata.
Protesters poured onto the street, taking over the main highway, shouting dictatorship, blowing air horns, blocking traffic, and burning tires. Riot police deployed water cannon, drenching the crowds.
The protests forcing flight cancellations and shutdowns at malls and schools. Today's the day a New York grand jury is resuming work on the hush money case that had former President Trump proclaiming he'd be arrested last week. He wasn't. CBS's Catherine Watson on what Trump is saying.
He thinks the Manhattan Grand. He called it BS and claimed local and state authorities are carrying out the Department of Justice's bidding. And he suggested that authorities are trying to prosecute him because of his poll numbers, because they don't want him to win.
A chemical spill in a river that's a Philadelphia water source had a lot of people fearing the worst.
The city says water flowing to Philly homes and businesses was treated before the spill, and there's enough clean water through at least midnight. But before that, officials thought there was a smaller window, and a lot of residents got an alert saying bottled water was recommended as a precaution. That led to people stocking up, and when they came up empty,
you get panicked because you don't know whether or not things on target and how long it's going to last. I'm not taking a chance.
The city says it will keep on testing the water as cleanup efforts continue to get rid of the 8,000 to 12,000 gallons of a latex product that spilled on the Delaware. Tim Jimenez for CBS News, Philadelphia.
The FDIC found a buyer for the failed Silicon Valley Bank, First Citizens Bank. New York Times markets reporter Joe Rennison.
Equity markets this morning are reacting quite positively to the news around SVB, and we're seeing them
rallied a little bit. We saw that last week as well. A lot of the fear around the nation's banks is kind of dissipating.
And right now, the Dow is up 135 points. The Supreme Court will decide activists can file disability rights lawsuits against hotels she does not intend to visit. The contention is the websites are not clear about accessibility for disabled people. This is CBS News.
Find tools for the job site or your own backyard at over 10,000 authorized local steel dealers. Find yours at steelusa.com, STIHLUSA.com.
Mark your calendars for Our Kids World, Saturday, April 8th at the Fashion Square Mall from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. Sponsored by Francis Ray Academy and powered by Sarah Automotive. Free admission, Easter egg hunt, pictures with the Easter Bunny brought to you by the Exchange Clubs of Saginaw, and so much more. In the Kids Zone with bounce houses provided by Bouncing Bellas. If your business would like to be involved, call 989-752-3456. Our Kids World, Saturday, April 8th, 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. at Fashion Square Mall. Sponsored by Francis Ray Academy.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right, but right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Just help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Poor Sam was a mess. Always itching, licking. His paws were soaking wet. He had bald spots on his back. DINOVITE. After he started Dynamite, I started seeing great improvements, and today 99% of his issues are non-existent. Dynamite is nutrition. Dynamite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynamite from DINOVITE.com.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Sunny skies and 35 degrees at 11:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Burchett. Bay City Central High School was closed again today after another threatening note. The school closed Friday after the discovery of a threatening note posted on one of the school doors. Monday morning, Superintendent Dr. Stephen Bigelow announced a similar note had been discovered, and all classes and extracurricular activities were canceled as a precaution. The city of Bay City intends to issue $5.2 million in improvements. Here's WSGW's Jonathan Dens.
On March 20th, the City Commission voted to approve the notice, giving the community 45 days to file a petition that would bring the issue before the voters. The proposed bonds would go towards establishing an over $1 million fuel island for municipal vehicles to use, which city staff say would save the city around $150,000 from retail gas stations. The rest of the funds would go towards replacing Fire Station number 2 on Fremont Street and conducting repairs at other fire stations. The proposal says that repaying these bonds would take an estimated 20 years, paying between $330,000 and $385,000 annually, with up to $89,000 of that coming from the motor equipment. And Dent, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
City of Midland voters who have registered for the absentee ballot to vote in the May 2nd, 2023 special election will be receiving their ballots soon. Absentee ballots have been mailed out by the Midland City Clerk's office as of March 24th. The ballot can be returned by mail using City of Midland website. For drop-off, stop inside the City Hall lobby during office hours, or you can drop it off 24/7 outside Larkin Street entrance to City Hall, outside the Larkin Street entrance, or the Midland Civic Arena entrance, and Barstow Municipal Airport. For more information and to obtain an gov/vote. WSGW News Time 11:07.
With the Wholesale Formula Seminar, discover how to start your own Amazon business.
This is Nick Chouquette. I lost a lot of money on a failed landscaping business and had to move in with my dad. After attending the Wholesale Formula Seminar, I went to $1 million in revenue on Amazon just 2 years later.
Hi, Ian Bauer. My first year averaged $45,000 a month in sales. Now I'm at $90,000 a month and hardly working.
Whether you have a business and want to sell more on Amazon, retired, or just need extra money, America's Amazon expert Dylan Frost will show you $9.99 guaranteed or your money back. That's right. Frost's seminar attendees generated over 1 billion, or to be clear, over 1,000 millions in sales on Amazon. Attend Dylan Frost's The Wholesale Formula 2-hour seminar Tuesday, March 28th at 2 p.m. For the greater Saginaw area, wholesaleformula.com.
WSGW News Time, 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. A massive shipment of fentanyl, which was headed to Detroit from Grand Rapids, was intercepted by federal drug agents who say it was enough to kill nearly everyone in the state of Michigan. According to the DEA, authorities of the painkiller during a traffic stop in Metro Detroit late Wednesday evening. Exactly where the fentanyl was seized was not disclosed, but DEA officials in Detroit say the drugs were produced in Mexico, made their way to Grand Rapids, and then ended up in the Metro Detroit area late Wednesday. Officials arrested the alleged transporter, who was a woman from Ohio, and also Michigan gambling sale receipts were down for February. Here's Michigan News Network's Jackie Page.
Combined internet gaming gross receipts and internet sports betting gross receipts fell 9.2% from January. Michigan internet gaming and internet sports betting grossed $170.83 million during February. Gross sports betting receipts declined as well, with roughly $22 million in February, compared with just over $33 million in January. Operators submitted $26.9 million in taxes to the state of Michigan.
Michigan Public Service Commission has approved changes to how much homeowners receive if they lose power. The $35 credits will be applied automatically to customers who lose power for more than 4 days when there are major outages. The credit had been $25 and residents had to apply. Under the new order approved today, customers will also receive $35 credits for each additional day the power is out. The new order also calls for long-duration outages quicker and lowers the amount of time first responders must guard downed wires before they're relieved by a utility line worker. The changes come a month after more than 1 million customers lost power during an ice storm. WSGW News Time, 11:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Skies become mostly sunny here for today with a high into the mid-40s. Winds out of the northeast around 5 to 15 miles per hour, gusting as high as 20. And then for tonight, mostly clear skies with a low around 28. Tuesday, sunshine, high of 47 degrees. Then by Wednesday, a chance for becoming rain-lake, cloudy skies, a high around 40. Thursday, sunny sky conditions, high of 47 degrees. Then by Friday, we'll have a chance for some rain showers, cloudy and breezy, and a high of 59. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Vujcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 37.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSG. Focus is presented by RoofMax. That's RoofMax with 2 X's.
Hey, we are back with you. And don't forget RoofMax, safe, proven, and easy, affordable alternative to asphalt shingle roof replacement. Find out more at getroofmax.com, RoofMax with 2 X's, or call Ben at 989-859-6751. RoofMax. We thank them for their sponsorship of the program. We're going to continue open phones, though, for the remainder of the program, right down till about 11:25 thereabouts, because we have no guest. I do want to point out one thing. I got an email. Remember how I said the big brush doesn't cover everybody, right? We were talking about the Pledge of Allegiance in schools. I got an email from Wayne who says that in the Meridian School District, the Pledge of Allegiance is said every day at all 3 schools, high school, junior high, and elementary. Wayne, thanks for the information, and we appreciate it. Carl is in Saginaw, so we'll chat with Carl to start this half hour. Carl, good morning.
Good morning, Art.
Good morning.
Have you seen the news out of Israel?
Yeah.
The riots.
Yep.
The riots in response to Netanyahu's trying to change the system there.
Yeah. Yes, I have. I saw the stories. And listen, a lot of people don't like change. And I don't, and to be honest with you, I don't know if this Netanyahu move is a good move or a bad move. I really don't, because I haven't delved into it deep enough to know. But
well, it's usually not a good move when a president or a premier wants to loosen the hold of the judiciary, especially when it in regards to against that president.
Well, but then you have to ask yourself, but before you can say that, you have to ask yourself, has the judiciary overextended its power? I don't know the answer to that. And if I knew the answer to that, then I could better give you an answer as to whether or not it's a good or bad thing. I don't know the answer to that. I mean, and to me, that's a fair assessment, because you have to look at both sides. What brought it about? Is it a political move, or is it a move that's actually based in fact somehow? I don't know. I do not know. I just know that the country's in a little bit of an upheaval right now on that issue. And then look at France. They're in upheaval because Macron wanted to raise the retirement age from 62 to 64. If that's a grounds for rioting, look out in this country, because it's going to happen here. They're going to have to raise the retirement ages. Otherwise, the system's going to fail.
Well, you're talking about a lack of respect for authority in this country.
Yep.
Do you believe any of the blame should go back to Donald Trump?
No, it's been going on too long.
Well, yeah, but what about his claims that
look, I understand.
Justice Department is fixed.
I understand that the left wants to blame everything on Donald Trump. Well, we get carried away with that. Unfortunately, in this country, historically, we are moving away from respect for power. Did he add to it? Yeah, I'll give you a little bit of that. But the reality is this country's been moving in that direction a long time, and it's unfortunate.
You were talking about the 1960s when things seemed to change. What I think changed back then is that you no longer had one who was at home during the day, most of the day. In the 1960s, that changed. A lot of homes, there was no longer a parent at home. Now you had two people. You had two people working.
That happened later on, I think, Carl. To be honest with you, but I think what happened in the '60s generation, part of it was the Vietnam War, and we saw protests and riots and all of that, and the Flower Power movement. I think that's really the genesis of what I'm saying. It's been evolutionary ever since.
Well, I think people have been, anti, authority when it suits their cause.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I'll give you that. But there seems to be more and more of it. And certainly in the younger generation, they don't respect teachers. Excuse me. They don't respect teachers. They don't respect legal authority. I mean, it's just it's a sad commentary. Sad commentary. All right, listen, I got to take a break. Thanks for the call as always.
All right.
Jim, hang on. We'll get to you right after these notes on the Art Lewis Show, on Focus, I should say, here on WSGW.
Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler, host of the Money Pit Home Improvement Show. If you think you need a new roof, think again. You can avoid replacement and save thousands with RoofMax, the world's first roof rejuvenation treatment. RoofMax is a safe, easy, and affordable alternative to costly asphalt roof replacement, and it's guaranteed. So don't replace RoofMax.
RoofMax, a safe, easy, proven, affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Call Ben to 6751 or go to GetRoofMax.com for a free quote.
Moments like hearing my cat purr good morning mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away. Symptoms including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Fair ball into the Haas around second. He's going to round second and head for third. It's a triple for Eric Haas.
The countdown is on. 3 days until opening day. Your home for the Tigers is WSGW. Thank you for being with 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
And we return. A few more minutes left here on WSGW with Jim in Wheeler. Jim, good morning to you.
Yes. Good morning, Harry.
Morning.
You know, if Carl don't think the court systems are rigged, yeah, read the book Political Prisoner by Paul Manafort. That'll really enlighten you. And another thing about just one of the, I think the reason there isn't near as much patriotism in this country is when they did away with the draft.
It's an interesting comment.
In there, you got young people in the military.
Yeah.
You send them off to foreign countries, whether they were fighting or they weren't fighting. And you go off to these countries and you find out, get me home, because there's nothing better.
Well, and also you taught them respect, and you taught them, how to follow orders, and you taught them a lot of responsibility. Military is a great teacher of how to do things right. And you're right. That's an interesting comment about not having a draft anymore. There was an article the other day I just read. Somebody had proposed that we reinstitute the draft, but they said something about young men, to which I say, no. Do it the Israeli way, men and women, because the roles have changed in this world, and we have to recognize that. So I'd say draft them all. And I'd give them a choice.
Draft them for certain jobs. Eric.
Yeah, I would.
I was in the Navy, and I don't believe there's a place on a ship for a woman.
Well, there's lots of women on ships today. There's lots of women on ships today, and they're doing their jobs.
But they are doing their job, but there's gives them too much of an opportunity for shenanigans.
Well, but that's that's no different in real life, is it? It reflects real life.
I know. Yeah, I know it.
So
but the ship I was on, I don't know how they would have ever accommodated women, because it was too wide open.
Well, thank you for your service anyway. If nothing else, thank you for your service.
That's what we did.
All right.
But,
good enough.
Yep.
Thanks.
Alrighty.
Take care.
Yep.
Bye now. Hey, and let me tell you an encouraging thing I saw last night at the Saginaw Spirit game, the final home game, regular season home game of the season. The U.S. Marines swore in a group of young men and women into the Corps. these recruits. There were probably, I'm guessing, I didn't count, but there were probably, I would say, 20 young men and women sworn in by a Marine Corps captain, took the oath, and are now in the Corps. Now, I don't know what their duties are, how soon they report, or anything of that nature. But here were 20 young men and women ready to go to bat for their country. Positive sign. I liked it. It's great. It's good to see. Is it the end all? No, probably not. Is it as many as the Marines would have liked to have had there? Maybe not. But the fact is, there were 20 some odd young men and women raising their hand, swearing allegiance to the country, to defend the Constitution, to follow orders. And it was good. It was very, very good. So congratulations to them. I hope they find their calling in the military, and I hope they serve us well. And there were several Marines in uniform from the recruiting office. I don't know where the captain was from, but there were several Marines in uniform, and they even had a chinning bar set up where you could do pull-ups to do strength tests and all of that. But it was pretty interesting, and I was happy to see that there are still those that will raise their hand and serve the country. And I have said for a long time, I have often believed that the military, for those that aren't sure what they want to do in life, they should go into the military. They can find a calling. They can find a career path. They can either stay in the military or they can learn a job skill and come out and serve the country in another way. You know, where do we think most traffic controllers come from? Most pilots, a lot of pilots come out of the military. And the military was having trouble finding pilots, which meant that now, as we see, the airlines are having trouble finding pilots. Oh, well. Listen, that'll kind of do it for today on the Art Lewis Show and our extended version. We thank you for joining us. We're going to take time out here. And then when we come back, we will find out what's happening in the marketplace with Baird and Company. All of that is ahead this morning.
Brian Regan.
In the human world, there's a doctor for every body part, but in the animal world, a veterinarian takes care of all animals and all their parts. We're the bighorn sheep knee doctors.
Brian Regan live on stage.
The giraffe throat and throat doctor.